Thank you and welcome to SendBird 2019 Product Line Review and Updates webinar. Over the course of 2019, SendBird has grown and made progress in all directions. 2019, we started with an exciting fundraising announcement. We raised a $102 million Series B round. The funding powered the addition of more than 100 new employees and 3 new global offices in London, Bangalore, and Singapore. We invested heavily into creating the best products for our customers. Today, we have almost 400 customers and 100 million monthly active chat users on the platform. And we are quickly growing. We are so excited to share with you all that we've been able to accomplish together. So let's get started with the webinar. Here's our speakers today. I'm Imju Byon, SendBird Solutions Engineering Manager. I've joined with the 2 product managers, Cheong and Kern. Hey guys, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Mickey here. I'm a product manager for messaging team. If you have any question on the messaging side, feel free to ask.
Hi everyone, my name is Kern. I'm the product manager for SendBird voice and video calls, and I'm very happy to be here with you today.
Awesome. So here's the order that we're going to present to you. First, we're going to start with the desk, and then second, dashboard update. Third, about the SendBird chat. Fourth, but not last but not least, voice and video calls that we're going to introduce in 2020. And we're going to have a Q&A session at the last, but feel free to ask questions in the Q&A pop-up window. And we have 2 panelists. Summer came from desk team, and Jacob came from the dashboard team, joining there, answering your questions. Without further ado, let's get started. By the way, we are recording the video, so we don't have to worry about taking notes. We'll send it in the follow-up email. So Desk is our customer support software. So we're going to talk about 3 areas of improvement. 1, communication. 2nd, management. 3rd, omnichannel experience. We introduced the quick replies. Quick replies enables the agent to use a template message preset by the admin when talking to the customer. You can start with the hashtag, and then quick replies will appear as you're typing, so that you can select the text fast. And you can also use the quick reply button in the input box. We also developed the proactive chat. The proactive chat allows the agent to send a message proactively to the customer first. You can use it to share new promotions or to keep in touch with customers. Left side screen is for the admin. They can see the proactive chat activities by the agents. And the right side, we are showing the agent view with the proactive chat. Once the proactive chat starts and customer answers, then new ticket is going to be created. We also added CSAT survey, the customer satisfaction measure that you can get survey from the user, the agent is interacting. So with the CSAT, you can automatically receive customer testimonials whenever a ticket is closed. The results can be viewed in reports and can also be viewed by agents. Team management feature, we've been asked by many customers. Now you can assign tickets to a specific teams as well as to an agent. After you set up your team, you can try to assign specific types of tickets to your team. and an agent. We also introduced the customer and ticket customizable fields. These customizable fields, you can manage your customer and ticket information, and so that it can be passed with the tickets in the life cycle. After creating a new field in Desk, you can fill the values for the field when the ticket is created, or you can add modify in the agent screen. We invested heavily in statistics and monitoring, and because that was the most requested area. Efficiency and speed and customer satisfaction, these are the themes that we focused on improving the statistics and monitoring part. So real-time monitoring information data, and now you can see the data by the agent, and we are going to add more data to show the performance and high-level view about the current issues, so that customer information can be shared rapidly among the management. Omni-channel with social media is one of the heavy projects that we did. Facebook integration was done in 2018. We released a Twitter integration, and we are working on Instagram integration to be launched in 2020. And WhatsApp and other messenger integration will be also coming in 2020. So that's about the customer support product desk. Now we're gonna talk about the dashboard updates that we made in 2019. So we added What's New section in the dashboard, because dashboard is the area that you visit often. So we want to give you more updates about what we did. So What's New is opening as a slider in the page, so that you can glimpse what is the new things happening in December. We also introduced a more clear connection status, because a number of customers are using our dashboard to communicate directly with the customers. So more connection status will help you connect with your customers through dashboard. Single sign-on, we added single sign-on feature that allows our customers use their own identity provider as the source of their users, so that you can manage the access from one place. We support SAML and the just-in-time provisioning JIT. One of the big announcements that we made this year was roles and permissions. Now you can create a custom role with the permissions, and you can tie these custom roles to restrict the access with the apps that you have. So you can, for example, you can access you can limit the access to the production apps, versus you can open up the development app for other roles. On top of the keyword filtering that we originally provided, we opened up the regex profanity filter. You can set regex filters to block messages in dashboard. That is pretty convenient. Another moderation feature, domain filter, was added, that you can set the domain filters to allow or block the messages that contain URLs that you want to blacklist. So this is for you that you can set it conveniently in dashboard. API tokens, we have a sub API token, which is called second and secondary API tokens. We can manage them in the dashboard so that you can revoke or create anytime you want. This was also one of the most requested features. You can also filter the webhook events, and you can change the setting in dashboard directly. API is also available, so you can change to the events that you are interested in and turn that on only to save your server cost.
Cool. Thanks, Imju. Let me begin sharing on the SendBird chat, what we released in 2019, and some of the stuff that we are working on for 2020. So next. So here we have an overview of what has been released. If you look, some of the test program, as I walk you through, you will see a mark that says EAP. If you want to have access to those features, talk to your AEs, then they will guide you through how to access that feature. So yeah, let me start on the next. Yeah, thanks, Imju. Yeah, so first feature that we release is the GDPR API. It allows you to help to manage the user data. And what does this GDPR API does is that it actually do a hard delete directly on our data storage. So there is no way to recover the data after the fact. Yeah, next. And then the next, one of the features that we also released in Q1 was channel mentions. In this feature, what it does is that we have a variable stores the number of count that this user is mentioned in the channel itself. So you can use it to actually notify the user. For example, look at the mockup where it actually put a count on the channel itself. In Q2, we release auto image moderation. This allows us to detect, allows you to actually moderate images based on the various detection category, like adult, spoof, medical, violence, or racy pictures. So this feature is powered by Google Vision API. So if you have any use cases that require this, we have it available. This feature, once it's being moderated as well, you can access the data, and the moderation is done by not sending the images across. Next. Another feature we did support is Google Translate. All along our translation is powered by Bing Translate. We added this is to support additional languages like Khmer and Tagalog. So yeah, you can look at the link attached below. You can see the list of languages that we support. And as I walk you through some of these features throughout the list, you can find out that some of the feature that if you want it to be supported by Bing Translate is actually independent. You can decide what feature to support using Bing Translate and what feature to support using Google Translate. Yeah. Next. We have channel archiving. What's the difference between channel archiving and hiding the channel is that when a message comes in, the channel, if it's previously hidden, it will be unhide in the channel list. But for once you archive a channel, when the new message comes in, it will not be made available in the channel list. So that's the difference. Depending on the use case, you might want to use channel hide or archiving the channel itself. And then the next things we have is a meta array API. This is an earlier version where we design a data structure for you to store data and implement feature like reaction and poll. So we have a documentation link there, as well as if you have different kind of use cases that can take advantage of this, feel free to speak to us as well on this. And lastly, we have shadow ban. It currently is under early access program. What does this do is that we partially ban the user and their content. The key use case of this is that if you have certain moderation system or certain moderation control that you want to observe this user before you ban the user. So this is where it comes in useful. You shadow ban, you can observe the user, and based on how they behave in the platform, you can unban it without the user knowing that they have been previously banned before. Yeah, next. In Q3, we released a user reporting API. This is a capability for you to allow your user to report messages, a user, and a channel. One of the key requirements of Apple App Store is that you need to have this feature implemented before they allow you to list the application on the App Store itself. So with this feature provided by us, you do not need to build it on your end. Yeah, auto message moderation. Again, this is under EAP. What it does is that it allows you to block or mask the messages based on different level of toxicity, insult, and profanity. There are various models out there, as well as support multiple languages. Again, this is powered by a Google Perspective API. So if you have a use case that you want to take advantage of this feature, speak to us. Yeah. Next, on-demand translation. What it does is it actually translates the messages after you receive it. This is very popular in messaging app like WeChat. So as you see in the mockup, one of the user interface that you can implement is that you can highlight, long tap the message bubble. It comes out with a control like translate. You click on it, it will translate the messages itself. And last, we have open channel dynamic partitioning. We released that in Q3. What it does, it allows us to scale the open channel up to a large number, like 100K membership. However, it does something different. We create a virtual chat group underneath it to allow the user to chat, to stream the user as they join into the channel to each individual virtual group. And we will resize and collapse the group based on the membership at the point in time. Only operator in the group will be able to send and receive messages across all the virtual chat group. But the member in each virtual chat group can only talk to each other and not across the virtual chat group. Next. Q4, we released another translation feature or translation push. What it does here is that we actually translate the messages before we send out the push. And the user on the other end will receive it in the language of their choice. We allow you to actually define how many languages that the user prefer. So if the sender send in a language that the user able to understand, we will not translate, even though that languages is not their most preferred languages itself. So in the case, in the mock-up that you can see, a rider who's only speaks English and a driver who speaks Korean, when the rider sends the messages, the driver will receive Korean directly on their push notification. Next, we have Reaction API. How does this differ from Meta Array API? Is that it's a specialized API that designed to manage for the user to react to the messages itself. Meta Array, the Reaction API will not be able to access, or the Meta Array API will not be able to access the Reaction API. There are two separate implementations, but yeah, Reaction API is meant for you to easily roll out this feature with us. And then we have delivery receipt coming up. As everybody will know, this feature is just to alert the sender to provide a better user experience when the messages are successfully delivered or not. So in the mockup, you can see that when the messages is successfully sent over to our server, we have one check mark. And then when the messages is successfully delivered to the user device, we actually have a double check mark. So this is kind of user experience you can implement on your end. Okay, omni-channel SMS. Why we call this omni-channel SMS is where we provide features to help you to build an omni-channel experience. The first channel that we are releasing is SMS. In this case, when you lost network connectivity, it comes in useful to send an SMS to the other user, and the user can actually reply back through SMS and we recreate the messages in the channel. If you look at the example below, for driver, he's trying to arrive at the rider location to pick up the rider itself. But throughout the journey itself, we might lost the connectivity. And in this case, we will actually observe if there's any read, it can be defined by you. 2 minutes, 1 minute, and then through that, we'll actually send an SMS out to the driver. The driver will receive it and they can reply back, and the rider will saw the messages, will see the messages that the driver sent without knowing that the driver is sent via an SMS. Yeah. And last, we have message search. Right now, it's only available for dedicated region. This message search allows the user to search messages on the server side. It will be released in Q4 towards the end, and it will be under the early access program. Next. Oh. Sorry, Imju. Yep. So what's coming up next year in 2020? We have a couple of exciting features. First one, we have Supergroup 2000. What we do is that this supergroup allow you to scale the membership to about 2,000 members. Next, we have offline messaging. We hope to also provide us on offline search part of this product release. We have message search available for shared region. Announcement API that allow you to broadcast messages beyond what our rate limit provided, and we can have different targeting, such as towards different channel, different users, and setting different parameters for that. And then we have message threading, end-to-end encryption, and other omni-channel support channels like WhatsApp, email, etc. So this is not this is by no means an exhaustive list of features that we're going to release in 2020. There'll be more upcoming next. So thank you. Yeah, Casey, you can.
All right, thank you. So very excited to talk about what we will new product for 2020, which is voice and video calls. So let's have a look at that real quick. So this is just a sneak peek, but what we can expect to be rolled out next year is a product that will start with voice calls, expand to video calls, and eventually include conference calls while supporting call administration from the SendBird dashboard. So this product is a separate SDK, but will integrate with existing SendBird applications or can be used standalone. And then eventually recording and broadcasting is something that we expect to get to as well. So if we look at this on a little more detailed timeline, we can see a little bit of the sequence of when we can expect this. So our early access program, which will be limited availability, is beginning in Q1 of next year, and we expect this to include one-on-one voice calls, as well as a call history for the administrator to view in the SendBird dashboard. The official release, version 1.0, we expect to be released at the beginning of Q2, and that will also include video calling in addition to voice. And the dashboard will be including some more robust call analytics. In Q3, we expect to increment on the features to include conference calling for both voice and video, as well as some call moderation tools similar to what you've come to expect in the SendBird dashboard for chat. To whatever extent we're able to do that with calls, we expect to move in that direction. And then going forward, incremental versions will be including recording, broadcasting, iterating on existing features, and we hope that this will be a both useful and robust product for both existing SendBird customers to use, but also those that are not interested in chat but just would like to start implementing calls, in-app calls, both voice and video. We do hope to meet that demand and to provide a satisfying development experience for those that wish to build that into their app.